So let's stay with the story because the so-called zama-zamas, as we've been reporting, are refusing to come up, citing fears of being arrested. Police have cut essential supplies to the group, sparking a charged debate about the strategy. Supporters of the move agree that this will help clamp down on the illicit trade, but critics have raised human rights concerns, saying it's inhumane. Let's get a better understanding of the balancing act between human rights and legal obligations. Bring in our guest, constitutional law commentator, advocate Lufuno Nevondwe, who joins us now via our video link. Advocate, thanks for your time and your patience. Welcome to the SABC News channel. The situation as it stands in Stilfontein seems to be one where there are constitutional rights to life, for example, in conflict with legal obligations not to be in breach of the country's laws. Is that how you'd also characterize the tension there?
Yes, police, they are within their right to want to arrest illegal miners because they have committed a crime. But at the same time, we must go back to the Constitution, which is very clear that everyone has a right to life, which include illegal miners. So it means that they have a right to life, and which means that nobody, including government, can try to end their life. And it also means that the government should take appropriate measures to safeguard life by making laws to protect the illegal miners. And in some circumstances, by taking steps to protect them if their life is at risk. So their life is at risk. They must be protected when they are underground. When they come out, they must come out alive so that they can be arrested and face the full mighty consequences of the law.
And you know, in the past, we've had similar situations, right? I know government stance has always been that, for example, they don't negotiate with terrorists, even if perhaps that may put people's lives at risk. And I wonder if that kind of sets a precedent. I might be stretching it using that particular example, but there must have been moments in our jurisprudence where we've had to negotiate this kind of tension. And how did the country's courts deal with that matter?
Remember, we are in a constitutional democracy. Even when you effect arrest, you must do it in a democratic manner. You must respect the human rights of the criminals at the same time. So there must always be a balancing right. Of course, the role of the police is to arrest those who have committed the crime. That must be done, but it must be done respecting the human dignity of those whom we will want to arrest, because everyone has a right to have his dignity respected and also protected. Remember, we have moved away from an apartheid government. We are in a constitutional democracy where everybody, including those who are suspected to have committed crime, they also have rights which need to be respected and protected. So when you effect arrest, you don't need to engage yourself in a violent manner. You can arrest without violence and ensure that those who are arrested, they go to court so that they can be able to get a fair trial.
What then of the responsibility of those in this instance who we're told are refusing to emerge? I mean, we're told that the rights we do enjoy in this constitutional context aren't absolute. There are also responsibilities that come with that. And if the police's version of events is anything to go by, they are expecting those underground to use their responsibility to emerge there so that, of course, police can swoop in on the apparent illegal trade taking place underground.
Of course, we are all interested to see them emerging, to see them coming back from the underground so that they can be arrested. So there are those who have come out already, and we still believe that even those who are still underground, they will come out so that they can be arrested. All these things, it must be done respecting the rule of law. So we are saying that you do not use violence so that you are able to effect the arrest. So all of these things, police must come up with a strategy to ensure that all those who are still underground, they come out so that they can be arrested.
It's interesting you talk about the use of violence because, as you said, that what sprung to mind for me immediately is how police in KwaZulu-Natal, for example, have responded to suspected criminals. There have been so many instances where we've reported, even on the show, of police ultimately killing the criminals because they felt that there was a greater threat, this is me paraphrasing very loosely, that stood in front of them. I mean, it's yet another example where there's this tension, as I've been saying, between a right to life and police having to do their jobs to ensure that the laws of this country are not being infringed upon.
Yes, there must be a balancing right. Remember, these illegal miners, they are underground. So they don't pose any threat to the police at this stage.
Well,
so
I mean, the police beg to differ, Advocate. Sorry to interrupt you there. I mean, part of what they've been saying over the past couple of days is that actually their intelligence has told them that they are heavily armed underground. They've been using explosives. And in the past, communities surrounding that particular site have complained that criminality stems from people who are apparently involved in that activity.
Yes, I think I do understand that point. But for them to be able to effect arrest, it must be done when we also respect the Constitution. It's unfortunate that we are now in a constitutional democracy, wherein whatever we do, we must also respect our laws. So I'm saying that let's balance these rights. Where the life of the police is at threat, of course they must respond. I mean, the law allows them to do that. But let's ensure that at all material times, we respect the laws. When we effect arrest, we ensure that there's no blood which has spilled, because because these illegal miners must come out so that they face the full mighty consequence of the law, so that we know how these operations are done. Because they might not be, you might find that it's not only these illegal miners who are underground, there are those who are kingpin, who are allowing these things to happen, who are the mastermind. We also want them to tell the court about the mastermind, so that we can ensure that we minimize the rate of illegal mining, which is already out of hand in the country.
All right, talk about being between a rock and a hard place, you'll excuse the pun. But yeah, there is certainly a lot to be said about what the law allows and perhaps how we should be responding to this particular situation. A constitutional law commentator, Advocate Lufuno Nevondwe, thanks very much indeed for giving us your insights. I do appreciate it's a tough thing to be able to negotiate.